That's what we're talking about tonight.
Jesus.
Talking about the end of the world. Lately, the past 2 years, I've heard a lot about the end of the world. I've heard about some people back in the Aztec and Mayan days saying that in December 12, 20... Mayan. Your days?
Mine.
Christmas days. The Mayans say that the world's going to end December 21st, 2012. However, there's this guy named Harold Camping. Harold Camping, who says that the world's going to end a little bit sooner than that. We only have a week. So you have a week to say, you go spend time with your mama, your papa, your family, your kids, whatever. But the world they've been talking about the end of the world, I think, since the beginning of the world. And there are a couple theories. One is the theory the world's going to, break apart, like we saw that picture. And I scoured the web to find out other theories. The next theory is that the world's going to be consumed by fire. A solar flare is going to come and, burn up the entire atmosphere, and the world is going to be consumed and no more. Knowing. That's an image from the movie Knowing. Another way is that a great, huge asteroid is going to come in and smack into the Earth, kill everything. Life as we know it does not exist anymore, will be covered up. Another way is, this may look like the moon, but they told me it was the Earth, covered in ice, because the world is going to have another ice age, and everything's going to die, and the world will end. Other viewpoints are a little bit more man-made, nuclear holocaust. And those of us who lived through the Cold War, Ronald versus Mikhail, Reagan versus Gorbachev, and people way back before them talked about the world's going to end in a nuclear disaster. If you've ever seen that Matthew Broderick movie, Project. No, the other one.
War Games? Sorry,
War Games. Where global thermonuclear war. And why don't we just play tic-tac-toe and just deal with it? And then another one is, I love this one, aliens are going to come and
they don't look like that.
Destroy the Earth, take all mankind hostage, and everything is going to be consumed by aliens. And my favorite one is a giant cosmic snake going to come by.
I've never heard that one.
I've never heard that one either, but that's an awesome image. This is my favorite image of the destruction of the world. So, the end of the world. I've done a lot of research and looking into eschatology. And if you don't know what that word is, I don't blame you. It's a scary word. It's the study of the end times. How is all this going to end? And there have been many, many different ways of predicting how they're going to do it. In the 1800s, there's this lady named Mary Bateman. She had a magic chicken who would lay eggs with end-time prophecies on them. Yeah, well, one day she was found. She was found one day stuffing an egg into a chicken, and because somebody popped in unannounced, and she was found out it was a fraud. But this poor chicken, yeah. Who would want to do that? Mary Bateman. She got killed later she was arrested for poisoning somebody and sentenced to death. So, God took care of her. In 500 AD, a Roman theologian calculated down to the very second that Christ was coming back, using the dimensions of Noah's Ark. I don't know where he got the idea from. I'm just saying that people come up with strange ideas. There's even this one guy in the mid-20th century, 1930-something, who predicted that the lost city of Atlantis will rise up and aliens, 33 spaceships from the planet my time, with 1,000 aliens in them, my time, was going to come to the earth and wipe everything clean. The end of the world. I think we're obsessed with it. I think there's a lot of questions about how it's going to happen, who it's going to happen. And if you listen to it, I don't know if you believe in, know any of the millennial thoughts that Jesus Christ did predict that he's going to come back and set up a 1,000-year reign, which is what our latest predictor has suggested. And it's all about, to these guys, how you do the math. There's a guy named William Miller back in 1843 who predicted that the world was going to end in the year 1843 or 1844. And he had followers called Millerites, and they had it calculated down to one day. And then they realized, okay, maybe not that day, it's going to be another day. Maybe it's another day, or maybe it's another day. And pretty soon, when the 1844 rolled around, on October 24th, 1844, they determined that this was the Day of Atonement for the world, for the Jewish Day of Atonement, and we're going to meet together. And the legend has it that they all met on a hill and waited for the coming of Christ. The next morning, they were still there. So they recalculated, and then a couple of months later, they showed back up on the same hill, and they waited. And in the morning, they were still there. What came out of this? Well, the Seventh-day Adventist Church formed out of this. Eschatology, predicting the end of the world, predicting how is this going to happen, when is Christ coming back, and what should we do about it? Should we go sit on a hill together May 21st? Should we gather together and have a Jesus is coming back party? Why not? But don't expect anything. But we're going to look at what the Bible says. What Jesus himself said about his second coming. And about what we need to expect. And give us some ideas of where this whole thing is coming from. And where I could sit here and talk to you guys about premillennial, postmillennial, amillennial, panmillennial. All those millennial things, and give you a whole bunch of theological jargon on all these different views, because I've studied them and I can present you 45 minutes, but I don't want you guys to go to sleep on them.